Hi, Pop Culture Pals. Today we have a sort of unboxing and a little bit of, I guess, what we'll call a challenge or maybe an anatomy of a sale. This lot you see here was a pop culture jewelry lot that I picked up from ShopGoodwill. I spent $27 on it. It was about 15 or so shipping and and then the tax and about $15 on the, well, I guess a little less to purchase it. I think I was the only bidder. Other people didn't really jump on this, but I did, and I will explain why as we go along. It's not a very big lot. Usually if I spend this kind of money, I like to get a big 3-pound, 5-pound box. This was not anywhere near that, but there were a couple of items in here that I thought were going to be worth the while. So what we're going to do as an experiment this year is we're going to take a look at these pieces. I did the research and I will explain to you what I think each one is likely to sell for and how much profit I can expect to get from this. And then what I'll do is down the road, I will check back in with you and we will talk about which items have sold, how much they sold for. And at some point, we'll call it quits when at least most of it has gone, or all of it if it moves quickly, and see how much profit we actually did get. So we're going to kind of do a little estimation, and feel free to add your comments, what you think these items are worth. I would love to have that information. So one of the things that definitely influenced my buying this was the Universal Studios items. As I'm sure you know, I'm a huge Universal Studios fan and love to pick up items and resell items from the parks. Shrek, I know, was always very popular, and the fact that a couple of the items were still carded. But there's one item in particular in here that I'm really curious to see what it goes for because it's kind of rare and there's a big range on eBay. We'll get there when we get there. So we're going to start off with this carded item. This is the Secret Life of Pets Super Snowball. Really nice pin, dimensional. Almost looks like it opens, but I guess it's just dimensional. And then Universal has this fun star shape in the back. It was $9 originally. This could have one of the best resales of this bunch, probably in the $20 range, maybe 19, and then a little bit of shipping. So let's talk about shipping right away. Most of this stuff is pretty light and is going to go in the $5 range. So on some of it, we'll put $4.50. Some of it, I will just include the shipping in the price of the item. Maybe for this experiment, I'll put shipping on everything. But the profit numbers we're going to talk about do not include shipping. I'm going to put shipping on top and hope that it gets covered. But again, we'll calculate all that later on. So anyway, this we're looking at about $19. I think I can get 19 with 4 shipping, 15 at minimal. It's really cute. Then we have this Shrek pin. Now this one was missing its backing. It is official. If we can get show here, there we go. It did not have its little Universal backing pin. I happen to have a Disney backer around, so I just put that on so nobody gets stabbed. But that will lower the value some, and of course not being on the card. I could not find this exact Shrek pin online, which is a good thing. Other Shrek pins similar to this are selling in the $10 range. So again, this being a more unusual one, and it's a really cool, I'm thinking it might glow in the dark. It's a really neat piece. I'm hoping I'm going to get 10 plus shipping on that. This Universal Studios logo pin is kind of a brass color. I don't know, something about it. It's a little bit cheap feeling. It was $12. It's still on its card, which is nice. But Universal does sell an awful lot of these logo pins in different styles and colors. So they can be a little trickier to flip. I am a collector, and normally I would hang on to this pin, but like I said, honestly, it's, I don't know, it's not really my thing. If it was an older logo or something else, it's a little plain for me, and I do have a lot of Universal pins. So I'm going to include this, put it up, and I'll just enjoy it until somebody buys it. This is going to be a little bit of a wild card. I would like to get $10 for it, but I'm not sure I'll get 10 plus shipping on it because, as I said, it's a little bit plain and there's so many logos up. It's going to be hard to get the algorithms to show this to people. Also in the probably not worth it category is this. This is a Friends pin, and it looks like it was either handmade or somebody cut it. Let me take a peek here. Looks like maybe it was one of several pins on a card and somebody cut it off. At max, this would sell for like $5, maybe not even with shipping. So this will probably just get included in a bundle of other items. So I'm not sure how I'm going to account for the cost of this, but it's not going to be worth selling on its own. I think I have some other friends' pins. Maybe I'll have to look and see, and I might just add it to that lot. This is another really super Universal Studios piece. This is a Magi, or Magi, I'm not sure I'm saying it right, pendant. It's the pendant of the keepers of the mummy, basically the men that are entrusted to keep the mummy in his tomb and safe. You can see it was original Universal. It is Universal. You see there at the bottom. Somebody did try to scrape the price off. The back's a little bit yucky, but the medallion itself is in fine shape. It's on a cord. So I did see a lot of people talking about this online. They used to sell this at the park at the Revenge of the Mummy ride, but I guess it isn't available or wasn't available for a long time because I saw people who were still looking for it. So this could sell in the $25 range. It looks like it didn't come on a backing card since the price sticker was on the back. So this is how you would get it. And it's a nice piece if you're a big Mummy fan. Now, that's my problem. I am a fan of Universal's original The Mummy. Let me rephrase that. And especially the reboot Brendan Fraser Mummy. That's my favorite. So again, I'd be tempted to keep this, but it's not a piece that jumps out to me, not like the Book of the Dead or something else that really jumps out, like the box that you use that has the key to open the Book of the Dead. That would be amazing. So this is probably going to go up, and again, I'll just enjoy it on my Universal shelf until someone buys it. So again, we're looking in the $25 range. This is another, I believe this is also Universal. Oh no, Warner Brothers, sorry. Warner Brothers pin for the movie Twister. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's hard to see this bottom piece, but it is a pin. And this is all sort of like textured across through here. So this was the main, well, I won't say this is the main reason, but this is certainly one of the things that convinced me to buy this, because, let's see if I can get you a better, does that help? I don't know if that helps or not. This is one of the things that made me want to buy this because it is a promo pin and apparently it's somewhat rare. The one did recently sell for $25, which is super. I would take $25 for this. But right now, the only one up and listed is listed at $135. Yeah, $135. So I don't know about that, but I'm not going to put it up at $135, that's for sure. But I will probably try to get at least what the last person got, if not a little bit more. I think my holding things isn't really helping you here, so I'm going to do a little pointery thing instead. So anyway, we're going to call this $25 profit, but I'm probably going to start a little bit higher, and I think this might be the biggest item in the bunch that's going to make our money back on this lot. Because like I said, I paid more for this than I normally would. So next up we have Wicked. This is the Elphaba pin from the Variety Club. This is the charity that collects money at movie theaters. And so there is a companion pink pin. If I had both of them, it would do better. This on its own could be a $10 item, might not be a $10 with shipping. It may only be a $10 item. So again, if I had the other one, we'd be in better shape, but I don't. Next up is this. Let's take a look at this one here. I'm going to come down closer, let you take a better look at things this way. This perplexed me for a little bit. So this is a pin of a statue that is called the Bird Girl, and it is the cover image of the famous Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. So some people call it the Good and Evil pin. Some people call it the Bird Girl. But it is not worth much money. It could be, again, I'd call it a $5 pin, but honestly, I'm not even sure. Again, I don't think you would get $5 plus shipping, especially not carded like this. So this is another little wild card that, I don't know, is going to have to be included in other pins, so I don't know how we're going to account for that one. Probably we aren't going to. Next up, we have, I don't know why I should have done this sooner. I'm so silly. I was juggling everything. You know what? Now that we're in a camera, I'm going to give you a better look at that mummy pendant without me jiggling it around. There we go. So this is a Disney, oopsie, and I believe that's Disney's dollar sticker for when this would have been in their outlet store, which, gosh, I wish we had one around here. We used to, but now it looks like Florida's the main place to get it, or there might be a Disney outlet way far away from me. But anyway, Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow, sort of a cameo piece. This is like I don't know if you can tell that this is sort of a resin, half oval egg shape over top of the portrait, and then this art and the nice chain on it. So this is kind of fun. This probably came on a card originally, and I cannot find this exact piece. I found some similar pieces, so I'm going to call this one a $10 piece. Again, probably can get shipping on it on top. It's pretty cool for Pirates collectors. Pirates is a tricky one. It was very, 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 very highly merchandised. So it can be a long wait to sell things just because there's so much out there. But Pirates items definitely still sell, especially if they're Pirates of the Caribbean ride items, and things like this that are Disney. Is that broken? Sorry, let me take a look here. Oh no, it's just okay. That are Disney official. Out of the way. And come in here. So next up we have a Twilight keychain or bag clip. It has a bunch of little pieces on it, Lamb and the Wolf and the little apple and then the Twilight logo. This one, again, I'm hoping it's a $10 piece. People do sell this on the card for $10 or $12. So obviously that's brand new condition. This one's, definitely been carried around. But there might not be enough of them up that I think I can get $10. Twilight items are very sought after these days, but again, it is very highly merchandised. So not everything from Twilight is going to sell for big money. Combinations of items sell even better. If I had other Twilight items right now, I would put this together in a lot, but I don't think I do. I'll have to take a look. But yeah, this was another reason I wanted to buy this. Twilight's really having a resurgence, and I thought it would be fun to have this in our store. Along those lines, too, let me say, as I rearrange some items here, that sometimes I buy things, not overspend, but sometimes I will buy things for the store value, just getting people in, somebody who's looking for Twilight that gets to my store and maybe has this keychain or doesn't want the keychain, but starts looking around then at what else we have and sees that we have other pop culture items, that I have the Mummy, that at Pirates of the Caribbean and Universal Studios, and they may find something else they like, because if you're a Twilight fan, you're very likely could be possibly a movie fan who likes also maybe Walking Dead. So it can be worth it for that. I generally don't try to pick up pieces that are only $10 sellers, just because they're just not worth the time and effort anymore. But, again, couldn't resist this fun lot. This little bracelet is a odd one, again. So it's Walking Dead 2014 MC. It's official. It's got that same sort of resin top on it that the Pirates piece had. Now, I could not find this exact bracelet. What I found was this bracelet combined with another similar one with a different tag, just a Walking Dead logo. And that person said it was a promo item, not a promo, a prototype item that was never actually produced. I have had prototype items from a couple companies, and they do tend to have a bunch of items like that. Sometimes they dump into the waste stream to Goodwill or whatever. Oops, sorry. So it's possible. If it is the case, it could be a $10 item. It could be more than that. I don't know. The prototype they had up was like, they had it up, I don't even know, $25, $30. I forgot to write that down. But like I said, it did have a second bracelet with it. So Walking Dead, same problem as Twilight and Pirates in that it is extremely over merchandised. There is so much Walking Dead merchandise that it is very difficult. I have had Walking Dead items in the store for 2 years and finally redonated them to charity because they went nowhere. I would not have bought this lot on the basis of a Walking Dead item. But since it's in here, we're going to list it, see what happens. But again, not that I don't love Walking Dead. I honestly don't watch the show, but I have nothing against the show. It's just hard to get anybody to pay attention when you are one of 5,000 Walking Dead items in eBay store. Another highly merchandised item or program. This is Game of Thrones from HBO. This is 2017. This is the House of Dragons logo from the Targaryens, is it? Again, I don't watch Game of Thrones. But this is a really nice piece. It's a really heavy-duty keychain that I think is going to sell. It is probably only, again, in the $7 to $10 range. There were some other similar ones. This one actually seems to be a little bit more rare. This one's that's solid and colored in. There's one that has a more lighter version that has like these black spaces are actually cut throughs. And it is HBO official. So I don't know. I think that's going to go. I have a Game of Thrones banner up right now, and worst case, I will group them. Again, grouping is a good way to get fans to purchase items. But I am hoping, again, that this will go on its own as a $10 item. And finally, we have Much Mockingjay. Let me get over here. So this is a whole collection of Hunger Games pieces. This is a brooch piece, a necklace piece. Now that is official, the LJF. These other items, I believe, are not. These are funky. They're almost plasticky in the way they feel. I think these are all just some kind of, Asian knockoffs. And then this one's a little bit heavier, but I don't see the logo on that one either. And then there's this bracelet version. There you go, see it. So Hunger Games stuff does still sell, absolutely. The knockoff pieces, not so much. And again, we'll see as a grouping if somebody wants this, or it might be really worth my not even bothering trying to sell these extra pieces and just sell the pendant alone. I think max, we'd be talking about $10 for the full grouping. So that's where we are now. Let's pull some of these things back into frame. Twilight, Game of Thrones, Universal, our lady there, Mummy, Pirates. Let's bring you back up a little bit. Sorry, hang on. Whoa, hang on, sorry. There we go. That was a little bit of rock and roll. Didn't mean to do that to you. So here's the numbers. I estimated the price of most of these items. I took an average. I didn't go with the lowest. I didn't go with the highest. And we come out to, if everything sold for the minimum price that I was thinking, it would be $156. Now, remember, I spent $27 on it. So we are looking at $129 in profit after sourcing costs. Then on that price, you'd have approximately $20 in eBay fees. Now, obviously, if I sell it for more, the eBay fees will be higher. So we're just rounding some numbers here. In the end, what we're looking at is approximately, if everything sells at the minimum that I'm asking, $100 profit. That may sound good. That's not great. I will be straight with you. This, especially if everything has to be listed individually, photographed individually, there's a lot of work for $100. And again, that's also assuming I get shipping on top of everything. It could come in even less. We are talking profit. That's after I take out the cost of the items. So I think that no matter what, I should make profit on this within a few months. But ideally, I would like to see it top over the 100 mark. I am concerned that because of shipping and people not wanting to pay shipping on light items like these, that we may come in closer to the $50 to $70 range. Am I advocating that you go through this much work to make $50? No. However, I bought this knowing full well that I could be looking at only that much profit. I like these items. I bought them because these kinds of things mean something to me. I really enjoy this pop culture pins and jewelry. I didn't even know this mummy piece was in here, which was really fun. And like I said, it's good items in the store. Shrek is always a great seller. We literally just sold a Shrek hoodie today, which is a shame because then I could have had the pin in there as well. But again, it'll get me people searching for certain words and keywords that'll get them into our store. The real wild card here is this twister pin that, I may just throw up at a crazy high price to start with. And that could be like where my profit is. And we'll see how fast it takes to turn. So the plan here is I'm going to get all this listed. And maybe I'll just put up a post or a short when everything's up. And we will check back in, I don't know, a month, unless it all happens to sell before then. I don't think it will. And see where we are, see how much money we've made, see what's left. And at a certain point, we'll end this experiment and call it quits on whatever we got as profit. And that'll be that. So feel free to take your guesses. Do you think I'll hit $100 profit on these items or not? You won't hurt my feelings if you say no. Let me know in the comments below.